What's up? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the ZnZerna Music Hour. The lighting in here is weird tonight. Trying to kind of get it right. But this is where we're at. I'm kind of in the middle of a move right now, and equipment is a little bit limited due to... what's going on, sunshine? It's a beautiful thing to see. Barry, I've been thinking about you today, actually. Got some stuff that I'm working on for you. Stuff that has actually lent itself to me thinking about some other stuff for the grander scheme of things. Spicy, what's up? Miss you too. Let me tell you. I'm sure you can imagine, oddly enough, miss the whole factory. Miss, a lot of heads, like I've said it before, legendary monsters and heroes. And it's the kind of thing that only happens when something's being done for a long time over a period of time in the same space. It builds its own environment and its own ecosystem and creatures. Happy to say we got one of the finest creatures in the building tonight. So, we got this little ambience going tonight because things are a little limited, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome. I'm doing pretty good, Got out to California, so that was good for the mind and good for the complexion. The weather out there is just fucking fantastic. I just want to ride my motorcycle out there and camp forever. But I don't really, because actually, it's like this. If you just go out and camp forever, you're going to come across a lot of people of a certain character. If you work on music forever, you're going to come into contact with people of a certain character. When you do, anything you do, you're going to come in contact with people that have developed a mindset from what they're doing. And, your world is a lot of times made up of those people. And, for being a place of work, the factory had its environment was good. And I don't know, I just want to meet lots of people with different kinds of mindsets. I want to meet the spicers of all the scenes, the very real grizzled veterans who can get it done and also get a bit of messing around done on the side. Anyways, ZnZerna Music Hour. That's what this is. My name's PT Burnem. I will be showing off the new shirt all night. If you're interested in the new shirt, give me a holler. They really look good. Big print, just soft and flexible and fantastic. And if the shirt that I have from December is any indicator, very durable. So excited. So that's those. There's more to talk about regarding merch, but I'm not gonna talk a lot about that here at the beginning. You can go ahead and drop a link for sure. Oh, Barry, thank you. Yeah. Although I will say, Barry, I've been going on to my spring site where I'm selling the shirts through recently, and I'm occasionally getting this message that's like, this is a fake site trying to impersonate a site, and I think it might be a message that some people are getting sometimes. So when I clicked past that, it was the site I made and every communication was going to me. But if that link gives you some trouble with your browser and you really want a shirt and you can't really see yourself going through that method, drop me a line and I will acquire one for you. I will acquire one to you. And yes, so t-shirts, some stickers. We got a sticker reveal tonight. I actually have to go and probably be a good idea to find those stickers if I'm going to do a sticker reveal. I was talking to Dan Keach before the show. Yeah, sometimes it takes me to the site without problems too, but then sometimes it gives me some problems. That's good. I'm glad that, Barry, you're confirming that. Ashley, I'm glad to see you, and thank you so much. I don't even really know how to do that. The only tech I'm really up on is tech like this. The Pulsar 23, which is what we got rocking tonight, paired up with Mononoke from the iPad. It's just going to be that and some preview stuff from your Mohei Nizen. Woogie in the house. Caught some cool pictures of Woogie, videos of Woogie this weekend. Shout outs to Woogie. Shout outs to Bird, Liz. Shout outs to Bowie, who is a cat, not David Bowie, the artist. Not sure who was named after who. It's a little unclear. Spaghettis. Woo! Spaghetti, is that good? I'm not sure about spaghetti. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Hey, Liz. So, tonight we're going to be making a couple of beats. One of which I sort of pre-cooked up, but we're going to destroy that one. And then we're going to make another one. Oh, it's spaghetti over here. Definitely spaghetti over here. I love the colorful spaghettis. I really, it's one of my favorite things about modular is just seeing all those connections. There it is, laid out. Like the neural network as it begins to build. I really find that tactile aspect really, inspiring in a lot of ways. And fun. Which, I want to say, you should be having some fun. In whatever discipline you're working with, maybe you can't express yourself exactly as you want to. Just get started, try to have some fun, refine your process, and get it out there. Because mostly, if you're doing something that interests you, and you're doing it with your, unabashedly, you're going to be having some fun. I know that I'm having some fun over here, working with, this is actually the opening drone from your Mohei Nizen, but I won't be doing the vocals over it. I really just love the way that Mononoke sounds. And right now we've got the Pulsar rocking those little clickies. And I want to show you and tell you a little something about the Pulsar. But first, we're going to get into all the meat and potatoes of the night. But first, while things are still nice and ambient and slow, I'd like to... any additional news? No, I think we've covered all the news. Welcome you all to the ZnZerna Music Hour, and take this quick breather before we get into things. Absolutely. Folks should be checking out Make Your Own Light. How are you enjoying the vinyl? Did the vinyls come in yet? Alright. We're gonna start by talking a little bit about this machine, which... that's what I thought, yeah. So you're enjoying it. So, the Pulsar is going to be something you're going to be seeing me with a lot. I'm going to be using it at live shows. I'm going to be having it as the centerpiece of my studio for a very long time, I think. And the reason is that it's a very versatile rhythmic instrument. I won't even call it a drum machine, because drum machines usually try to mimic drums. This can do drums, but it's really just a rhythmic sound tone generator geared towards rhythmic, punchy sounds that sound good when they're done rhythmically. So the Pulsar 23, shoutouts to Vlad Kramer, and our spaghetti here is connections. Some of those connections are dedicated from our timing group here, which is basically sending out pulses at different divisions of a rhythm. The rhythm that you see this light blinking at. So that's actually triggering a few things. It's triggering this hi-hat, which I'm going to bring into the mix a little more. And that's a sort of quantized click, almost like a metronome. And what's interesting is it is unaffected by whether or not you were using the sequencer, which is more like a tape loop machine, that's also inside the Pulsar. So all this is happening just from the gates signals being sent from our timing array up here to the hi-hat module, and also to the bass module, which today we have it set on the percussion mode, which is something developed by Vlad Kramer in case you didn't want a bass in your rhythmic track and wanted to use that instead for some different kind of rhythmic elements, which is what I did this morning. And I can bring those in. So that's just hitting on like the sort of two, or the one every two rotations. Sort of cowbell deal. They're both being sent to a rhythmic delay. It's got 2 taps. This means that it's got 2 different rhythms of repeat. It is not synced to the tempo. You have to adjust all that manually, which I did beforehand. And that's why we're getting that. If we wanted to extend those out, we could. And we've got these switches here, which will mute or play the tape reel, basically. Consider it as if it was a tape, but instead of recording sound, it recorded signals that it then feeds back in order to trigger these 4 drum elements. We've got the hi-hat over here, snare drum here, which we cannot hear, and the rhythmic element I talked about earlier is here, and the kick drum is here. So, yeah, the Pulsar is a very deep instrument. You could spend your life exploring it, and I basically intend to. Oh, yeah. Just a little something easy for the evening. Now, that tape can be recorded too, which I've already done, so I can play some additional rhythmic patterns by pressing play. I can play my individual sounds I love that staticky snare. Cool. Thank you, Ashley. Barry, Ashley, y'all are enormous helps. Been getting really excited about Yomohe Naizen recently. I'm in that mood. I'm in the dust. I love that dusty snare, that dusty static snare, when things break up. Now, I think I should probably bring these kicks in eventually, right? Let's do it. There's also a recorded signal in that loop sending to the bass, which is our percussive element here. Ding 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 ding. I really like y'all's color scheme right now together. Ashley, I really feel like you're matching the Pulsar tonight. Okay. So Yomohe Naizen is about dust, dreams, and destiny. Whereas Dustcat Dream is about your dreams, my dreams, as we move through the dust. Yomohe Naizen is based on a consideration that we are also a dream. We touched on this in Pink Lasers. One of the posits of reality that Philip K. Dick gives occasionally in interviews and throughout stories is that we have actually created this reality. If you were an infinite being with no definition and you wanted to see, you wanted to turn yourself inside out, see yourself, find out, create, become something rather than just infinite potential. Create a world, put yourself inside of it, but you'd have to forget that you were the God. So you give yourself amnesia and you put yourself inside. Why? To test yourself, see about yourself. Consciousness is the act of the universe considering itself, the omniverse. This is potential theory. This is not an answer. I don't think there might be an answer. It's a consideration. It's a consideration that fires me up significantly. Another thing that fires me up significantly is the Pulsar's ability to run these two separate, in-sync loops, the counted pulses from our clock array up here, and the series of signals that we're running here, which I can stop. And when I start it up again, I can start it up at any time. And it's sort of set to sort of drift back into sync with those clock signals. I mean, those clock signals are always resetting it, but I can bring it in at any time and from different locations. This is what's really interesting for classic hip-hop heads with the electronics of the Pulsar, because one of the ways that is popular to work with samples and breaks is to sort of do cuts and come in different chops of the drum loop. And Pulsar, through a very ingenious implementation, has made it so you can do that with just the Pulsar. So these signals are running. We'll start that thing again. And it kind of gets itself back into line with those clock signals that are coming from our array up here. And in fact, our array of clock signals is tied to this looping signal tape. I'm calling it a tape. There's no physical tape inside, but a tape is the best way to visualize it, as a running tape of signals, because you can erase those signals, put them back, etc. You can work with it in a lot of ways, like as if there was a tape head. But not audio, just signals to trigger our audio. And we've got that loop going, right? And now you see these, we've got an add and a delete button for each of our 4 channels, which means we have 8 metal buttons there. Uh-oh. I have pulled this off. I think it went there, but it's fine. So each of those 8 buttons, those metal conductors there, when you hold play, which is just this combination of buttons, these 2 sensors here, each of these becomes a starting point on the loop. That's one. It's like this. See how you can and that was a little off rhythm. So you see how you basically, as you've been working just naturally, not really like a scratch, more like if you could take your drum loop and assign it to 8 different pads, each of which was playing a different section of the drum loop. Chop the drum loop into 8 separate sections, each of equal size, and so you know naturally that's going to fall on probably some drum. So you're able to jump to different positions in your loop instantly. It's just a function that is available once you've got your loop going. Exactly, like a drum cut. So you're basically able to chop your drums. Which is nice. I also had recorded some hi-hats. I like that sound, but I want a little less of it. What that sound is being made by is this random data coming out of our random rhythmic data generator over here called the Chaos module. I'm conducting the electricity with my body. So, this affords a lot of interesting... But what I really want is just for it to always be around. Just not so much of it. Down here we've got a corner of attenuators. I've covered attenuators before. Basically they just decide whether your signal is going to be a lot or a little. It doesn't change the shape of your signal really, just decides whether it's going to be a lot of that signal or a little bit of that signal. And I'm going to make it a little less of that signal. What do you mean? Jay, so good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Sheck is in the house. And Jason played guitar on Paper Cranes, electric guitar on, forget what that song was called, The Thin Veil? Anyways, I'll remember it in a moment. But, yeah. Jason, so good to have you in the virtual building. It is not really like a voice box. And what do you exactly what are you asking about with regards to what I've just been doing? Also, look at these fucking tight shirts. No, Jay, that was simply, see how all these wires are connected? I was removing the connection and making it with my body. So I wasn't really covering up a diode or anything. I was simply making an electric connection. Great to not be here too. Yamohe Nizen. Lo and behold, distracted and tapping phone, static snow nation, information overload. The future is explosions as reflected in the chrome of Robo Sapiens. It grew up in the shadows of the drone. Homes, last of the grassy knolls have been extracted, redacted, and snatched up by remote control. That's around the time the sound of the glassy sky will be shattered by that all-seeing eye. Nowhere to hide. Let's get realistic. No amount of talk is ever gonna fix this. Not a mystic, but I may elaborate on what I see riding on the wind in the distance. Little vision of a vessel on a mission, but my man in the middle watching through television. Robotic cockpit pilot cannot be reasoned with. He just do what bossy say, check the dusty. He just do what bossy say. I think he's gonna really enjoy it. The print is so big. I always order the shirts myself first to make sure they're gonna be good looking. Because, they say on the thing, it's like if you print it this big, it'll look great. If you print it this big, it'll look okay. And I have a feeling that they're trying to get you to make it as small as possible because that way they use less ink. So I kind of pushed the limit and, whoo, they're big, bold. All your homes and the last of the grassy knolls have been extracted, redacted, and snatched up by remote control. That's around the time that the sound of the glassy sky will be Shadowed by that all-seeing eye. Nowhere to hide, let's get realistic. No amount of talk is ever gonna fix this. Not a mystic, but I may elaborate on what I see riding on the wind in the distance. Little vision of a vessel on a mission, man in the middle, watch through a television. Robotic cockpit pilot cannot be reasoned with. He just do what bosses say. Check the dossier. Kill the fucking target and crack the Cavassier. Cashing out a picture, God bless the USA. We are all so free and proud with all that power on display. So the ability to mangle all that kind of stuff by having not only the ability to loop signals, but to access different chops. He just do what bosses say. Check the dossier. Catching out a target and check the Cavassier. And you know, I think I'm just gonna maybe make a few more connections. Talk about, oh, well, that is something about tonight too. I'm limited in terms of the connections I can make. I love the way that it doesn't feel. Oh, right. Ooh. Well, that sounds weird. I love it when things start to get jumpy. What do I got here? Ooh, I kind of like that. Whatever. Very cool, very. Yeah, Footbags has been doing his thing for a while. Yeah, there's a lot of cool effects that occur when messing with the pulsar. That's why one of my main things to do when I'm working with it is to run multi-outs into a recording software and capture it all, because then those single moments I love the way that the pulsar blurs the edges. Alright, so we're basically getting oh, I like that. Yeah, it's actually, what's happening there, Jason, is actually a really interesting, it's basically oscillating very fast between two pitches, which are decided. Those two pitches are a relationship that is decided here. You can easily make it sound terrible. Well, actually, that sounds good too. Okay, this sounds bad. Like they're just too low. It's funny how sometimes making something softer can make it sound bigger. Like the attack of this. That big attack, that heavy attack, sounds pretty big, but when I make it so the attack is softer and more subtle, it actually it sounds big and far away. Alright, I want that. That sounds so weird and alien. Home, distracted and tapped phone. Statics, no nation, inflation over. Inflation over low. Distracted, redacted, snatched up remote control. You hear how it's drifting back into place? You hear how it drifts back into place? And now it once again sounds good. Okay, yeah, we've got the recording going, so we've got it going. I'd love to hear something over this. Alright, well, we've been going for like yeah, you know, this is a little more of an experimental evening in some ways. But we're just gonna let that one roll. Well, maybe not. Yeah, we will. And while we take it apart, though, maybe next week we will take the audio from... Actually, you know what? Let's take the audio from our ambience here and run it through the delay signal. Oh, that's got some weird stuff happening. Oh, that's because the click of the connection was echoing out. That is weird. Stacking things on the timing, hoping to make something weird happen. All right, that's enough of that. So, I thought tonight would be a cool opportunity to show you something that I've been working on. This is going to be in the audio that is available to... Ooh, I even like the static that comes out of this thing. Available to patrons as a part of the show audio. And it's a rough cut, probably in mono since it's running through the Pulsar. Tonight, like I said, the equipment is limited. But it is a, 60% done version of a song from ZnZerna. So, well, there we go. I've also got some other stuff, like the Necessary Peoples album. Another Dan Keach original. Let's see. Let's go with... actually, let's just go with some of these opener drones, maybe. Nah. I'd like to give you a little sneak preview. Which one? Okay, this one is something that I'm going to let it play, maybe bring up the error screen, but it is a pretty fine drone. You could probably see this live if you're in Greenville or Durham. If you're, I'll get the dates of those shows up hopefully by the end of the show. Somebody in the crowd might know them, I just don't have them offhand. The 6th of June is when we can get together in Greenville for the 2nd anniversary memorial for Richard Benjamin, a wonderful friend who some of you may know. We're going to be down there at the State Theater on the 6th with Chesky and MC Homeless, a bunch of others that I'm afraid to name because I'm afraid I won't name everyone, etc. So much love for Richard. Let's see. What do we got here? We got to disconnect everything else. Just connect this. Here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, this is a song currently called House of Blades, and it is a pretty decent example of the kinds of things that I'm working on for ZnZerna, and in a more finished form than the jams that we've been doing. There's some vocals here. Some of them are sort of rough, scratchy, but I think you're probably going to get the idea. Haha. So, something that might be nice to talk about right now. Thank you, Ashley. These guys. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you're already going to get one. If you are not, they are $13, and that's all in with shipping. These include a couple of the promotional stickers and 2 of the official characterizations of Zerna from the earlier part of this year. Now, these aren't some of the newer ones, and in fact, last month, a really, really cool ZnZerna sticker came out that hopefully a lot of you are receiving, did receive, I guess. My man Doggy actually received it while I was on his porch chilling with him yesterday because his came back to me twice. I don't know why. But, glad to hear it. And speaking of sticker albums and sticker collections, that television sticker thing is actually happening next week, just because things got a little shooken up. But it is definitely still happening, and I'm really happy with everything that everyone has submitted. Actually, some of you may be receiving an email about your submissions, because I kind of want to talk about some of you, give a little sort of profile while we run the images. Where's my good? We'll start with some hi-hats here. So I'm going to switch it to the overhead. And that's actually just from the mic, because I'm running a different drone off of this. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we're going to put in a little work to it. So when I'm starting with the Pulsar beat, because the internal sort of tape loop that I was talking about earlier is not quantized, it can help to get a little bit of a sort of metronome going, but I like the metronome just to be the hi-hat. I love how real that hi-hat sounds. Really, Barry? So, you take the clear sticker and you put it over another image. Then you take a picture of the image and send it to me. I have, in fact, maybe I'll go and get it and show you guys. No, I'll wait for the debut. I have a couple little sort of like devices, both digital and analog, that are going to incorporate those pictures that you send me inside of imagery that is the TV, that the sticker is a replica of. So they'll be inside of those screens, the images that are sent in. You still have a week. I just love how you couldn't get the sticker off the backing. Did it rip, or is it just like, what happened? Yeah, the backing ripped, or all right. I'm gonna get a little counter rhythm going in there. Might be. That's weird. That's really odd. Haven't gotten any other complaints about that sticker, and I've gotten a number of responses. If you want, I'll send you another one. No problem. I'm getting this month's sticker collection together, so I'll just send you another one. No, it's all good. I'd really like you to participate, you know? You should have let me know. I definitely would have sent another one. I mean, I've got a stack. Like, so that future folks signing up. Ooh, no, we're not going to go into that one yet. We need something. Alright. Okay, we'll try this one. There we go. Yeah, it ain't no trouble, Barry. Oh, me and Barry, we've been in communication. I think he knows. But I do appreciate the vouch. Let's see. So right now I've just got that going, right? So I'm gonna. There's a double up that I'd like to also get going. Maybe it's a quad that I'd rather have. I guess is so. When these send gate and timing signals, they send them as a pulse, and that sounds one way, which you might want occasionally, but rhythmic samples tend to die off fast rather than just being a pulse that then dies off immediately. It's like has a decay envelope. So what this does is it gives that pulse a decay envelope, and it makes it sound more natural as a drum. It's called exponential envelope. The mind hears exponential envelopes as natural sounding. We tend not to hear in a linear fashion, but more in an exponential fashion. So I'm now running another timing peg from our timing array up here through an attenuator to give a little variation. I mean, in fact, we could maybe do one more potentially. Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's not going to be a lot of like, head-catching melodies tonight or like stuff like that. It's going to be more like a sort of basic primer on working with this rhythmic beast of a machine. I love the way that it treats rhythmic elements not as like mimics of drums. You can mimic drums, those sound really natural. But you can also warp them up pretty good. And something that I really like to do, one of my go-tos, is running a rhythmic pattern of randomness, which, Jason, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So the Chaos module here, it generates randomness, but only between a given number of values, basically quantizing its randomness, okay? So what you get is, say, out of the 3-bit output, you get 8 various values in a random pattern. So, as you can imagine, that doesn't sound just totally random. It's got, a structure to it. So I'm sending it right now the clock, one of the divisions of the clock. And so it's generating these bits of data. It's got 4 different pegs. It's got a 1-bit peg, 2 2-bit pegs, 2 1-bit pegs, a 2-bit peg, and a 3-bit peg. Anybody who knows something about computers, we're dealing basically with multiples. It's like a 1-bit peg has 2 variables that it oscillates between randomly, and a 2-bit has 4 variables that it oscillates, 4 values that it goes between randomly, and a 3-bit has 8 values that it goes between randomly. Again, I'm going to attenuate this signal. I'm going to attenuate this signal and send it to the high-pass filter of the hi-hats, which is going to give us some really wild variation. Now you hear how that pattern is going? Boing, chickie, boing. That's because we have it, the Sheas is currently looping a random set of 16 values. We can shove it over to the side and now it's generating a totally new right now. It's just apparently kind of sending it I'm not quite getting the effect that I'm looking for. So let's try maybe I'm gonna try. Obviously, we're getting something weirder there. Variations just don't seem to be. There we go. So you can move it over to the side, collect some random data, and then flip it back to the middle, and it will loop that random data in 16. You've got to remember to connect the reset pin. Otherwise, the timing of your pins up here will not relate to the timing of the tape that I mentioned. Which might be something that you want, but also might not be something that you want. If it's not something you want, then connect the reset pin. Also, let's see. Next week we should be back in a properly organized zone, permanent home for ZnZerna. Huh. I'm wondering why it isn't recording. Oh, it's not recording, it's not playing. And I don't know if y'all feel the sub on that, but it's quite nice. Bye, Ashley. I'm gonna switch this back into bass mode. I'm just vibing. I really like this right now. All right. I don't have a keyboard here, so one of the ways that you can make something happen is through an LFO. Like, I can't make this lower its pitch. What I want it to do is right? So what I do is I take this LFO, I take the square output so it just has a value and then another value, and then I sync it so that when I hit the bass, that trigger goes out and also triggers the LFO. Or, in fact, maybe we could make it so that when it releases, it brings its tone down. Let's try that. I really do wish that I had a MIDI keyboard and could just put that in. We could settle for that. That's not going up. That's where I want it. that. Sounds like a trumpet, or like a low trumpet far away, some kind of like sousaphone. All right. I don't know about that. See how that drastically changes in sound? Alright, I'm gonna let this one roll. Maybe take its tempo up to outrageousness. Sounds like a factory gone insane far away. crazy drunken rhythms. Alright. Since that was so crazy, I'm gonna give you guys... We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out on something else. Oh, I wanted to show y'all... Alright. Alright. One more sneak peek. Hope you enjoy it. To each other. I've had 1,000 die of a passing sun. Vibrating up the time in the vibrating home. Exactly. Exactly. Just stay off. So, this is the first Zerna with no red. The significance is an acknowledgement of weight, a mourning. I think we can all relate a little bit right now. All right. So, that was fun, and you got a little taste of something off of Yamohe Nizen that's called Carapace. But now, I think what we're gonna do is maybe make one more of these beats. One more of these Pulsar beats. I'm gonna go from just total dead scratch. This is what I like about the Pulsars. Like, you got to keep recording, or you might drive yourself insane, being like, "I had the perfect thing, and then now it's gone." It's basically like going on safari. You take a lot of pictures, but it's a wild journey. You don't know what's gonna happen next necessarily. It's a lot different from the sort of very directed approach to programming drums that a lot of machines have. Modular in general is like that, but I would say that the Pulsar is extremely surprising sometimes just due to its architecture. The pins can be accidentally jostled. This can send signals cascading down through it and have strange reiterations later due to the nature of its effects chain, which is a delay that can keep sending into itself and then pop up again at strange points, or pitch shift itself. Right now what I want to do is try again with that Chaos module. What I want to try to do right now with the Chaos module is get its timing up so that it's regular and in line with my timing here. Going to take we've got a small problem. So I'm going to just stay with the webcam, and we're not going to necessarily be going back to that viewpoint. So right now what I'm going to do is use the Chaos module's rhythmic random to play with the pitch of the bass again like we were before. But hopefully now we will get a little more easy to hear variation by varying the pitch of the bass. Wildly at first, but then I'm going to show you how you can sort of mold that down into something that basically makes sense. And you just use your ear. It's probably not going to be perfectly in tune. That's one of the cool points of the Pulsars. The stuff that just sounds good. You don't start from a point of tune. It can make it hard to work with later, but if you know what you're doing, then you can kind of wrangle it into tune if you wish. I'm going to take the 10-volt output, which is sending just a constant... I'm going to actually take the noise output and send it to one of the attenuators. Let's see if we can... Maybe we should do that. Yeah, you can see the ZnZerna and part of the Pulsar. So we're going to take the 10-volt out, or the noise out, send it to a attenuator here, and use that to trigger the bass. We'll try it with the 10-volt. So you hear how that is now going real crazy and strange. And we can change the amount of strange. No variation at all when I turn that knob all the way down. As I turn it up, there's more variation. So I like the way that sounds, and it can keep those same four, but just different patterns. Cool thing is, that is already in line with our timing. So Now, this is interesting, and I think I'm going to go out on this, that sometimes, the pulsar just sounds chaotic. I'm hoping that as my time with it goes on, we're going to have more successes than fails. Right now, it's interesting, but it's nothing that I'd really like to work with. I do, however, want to show off this interesting thing about modular synthesis that I think sort of secretly is one of the reasons we love analog and control voltage so much. So right now the control voltage is super attenuated. It's almost bleeding out. I can turn the volume up on the thing, but it's just going to sound like tamer. I can turn the volume down, and if I'm hitting it hard, so you can get those dynamics as to like how hard you're hitting the oscillator with the signal that you're sending it. And it really just mimics the way amps sort of distort at the upper end of their volume range, and gets a lot of nice kind of gluing together type distortion compression going up at the top of it. All right, well, let's try this. Let's try same way, using the chaos now to also modulate the warp. It's all about finding sweet spots. That drive that this has on the kick channel will help you cut through something like that. Alright, that's it. An interesting thing about this, as alive as that sounds, that's a digital oscillator, the bass. Sounds really weird and mean for being a digital oscillator, and that's because Vlad Kramer designed it in a different way than most digital oscillators are designed. And I suppose I'm just gonna cut that stuff out. I'm gonna be what up, Gator? How's it going? You just joining us late in the stream? The music is basically finishing off now. Might try to do a little bit more with some Mononoke, actually. Run it through the delay and see what we get in order to in order to say our thank yous to contributing members of the Patreon. What are we missing here? You know, it's like for the most part, well, once the stream ends, you'll be able to run it from the beginning. And there's some good moments in there, including a sticker reveal and some really interesting beats. The beat at the beginning, I think, is one of the more complete type feeling beats, but throughout, I think we had some pretty good pieces. It's always good to be here now. You hear that static? It's got a pleasing feel. To me, anyways. It goes with the dust. It feels like, not like bad digital interference, but small artifacts. At least to me. I just like the way those go. Alright, so really appreciate you all joining me tonight. Those of y'all that just came in, Gator, glad to see you. To those who have departed, Ashley, it was really good to have you. To everyone that's still here, we're gonna be going out, and I'd like to thank the people that make it possible for me to logically work on this stuff. And those are my Digicats and my ZnZerna cats. Ashley, what's up? Erica, if you're watching. Ren, Kenny, I'm coming for you. The 6th, we're doing it. The State Theater. Can't wait to see you. We got Jen Dudley. These are our Dusty Cats. Eric Akers, 1/2 of Trauma Laverne. I say it every time, it bears repeating. Queen Cat. Still holding it down up north. I wish you would come down for a little bit of this summer heat, Queen Cat. Becca, what's up? As always, thank you so much for your support. Constant. Sam, just had an excellent conversation over the phone about the nature of technology and making music. So good stuff. Robbie, come on down from Philadelphia. When I'm headed into the area, I will be letting you know, without a doubt. VIP. Austin, if you're there, so much thanks. I hope everything's going well. Still at the factory. Come on out and let's do some Twitch stuff together. Now Visitor blew my mind. Visitor 10 blew my mind. He sent me a pack of Aesop Rock playing cards. So cool. And I don't know why I had to mention that, but I did. And we got 2 other contributors. Barry, as usual. So, how can I thank you enough? Thank you for taking an active part in the Dust Cat dream. And Doggy, we just kicked it on the porch, and built on a lot of stuff. I like talking philosophy. I like talking about technology and space and black holes, and I hope that nobody gets sucked into a black hole, and that the potential Swiss cheese of black holes that makes up our reality stays relatively stable enough for us to get to next week, when I will see you again. And, we're continuing onward. Yamohe Naizen has me psyched. I think I'm probably going to focus on that for next week. And we're going to be rocking the TV next week. Maybe we'll do a couple of TV episodes. I really want to give Barry a chance to get that sticker backing off. Get that image to me. I really like connecting over what we find important to take a look at and a listen to. And I hope that y'all have a lovely week. Until then, my name's P.T. Burnem. This is the ZnZerna Music Hour. And huge thanks to Cold Rhymes Records and Dan Keach for keeping these things alive and facilitating always. I hope y'all have a lovely week. And I'll see you next time, 7 p.m., twitch.tv/Cold Rhymes Records.